Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? I'm gonna make this video in English and we're gonna start a new series. Basically, I'm gonna be filming chess openings and yeah, I believe I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. And yeah, basically everybody can record a chess course and everybody can teach, but of course it's about knowledge and also about the things, the things you say, how you communicate, how you are able to deliver that message and that package of knowledge. Because if it's lost, then, you can have all that knowledge for nothing. So yeah, also I'm rocking my haircut, like Michael Scofield's haircut from Prison Break and the orange shirt. And yeah, on the right side of me, you can see a plant and the painting behind me. I've taken notice that there was somebody who said maybe I should focus more on the background with the plant and stuff like that. Maybe it's, you know, maybe it's more like nature in sync and stuff like that, green and so on. But anyway, without further ado, let's make the image smaller. I've prepared a few games to show you. This series is gonna be Grunfeld 0 to 100. Yeah, I've prepared a couple of games. Let's look at them. I'm gonna make this series in English. Perhaps I'm gonna make some in Romanian too. So, okay. Alright, let's look at some games. And then I'm gonna show you what I know in regards to Grunfeld. What I've picked up by Kasparov, by Svidler, everybody who inspired me. Who else played Grunfeld? Maybe it's Maslov, Botvinnik, and so on. Even Alekhine. So I basically played some blitz games, and I wanna show to you guys c4, knight f6. I'm controlling the center, obviously. Knight c3, g6, and now d5 after g3. Usually I believe c6 is the way to go. That Hitler recommends in his course, and then, for example, d4, d5, bishop g2, bishop g7, and we can go on like knight f3 or takes, even takes and knight f3, and it transposes after castles. There are lines for knight e5, there are lines for he castles, and I believe Hitler recommends knight e4, to have active pieces and controlling the center. But anyway, after g3, I immediately play d5 just to get that kind of structure. Because I take on c3 and then I will play c5 soon. And now I didn't know. Oh, actually, I believe I did know. Um, yeah, here if he takes on b7 and I got queen d5, I believe. I just take and then I just force the roots, obviously. And then there's one more stuff with this, one more trick with knight b7, knight b6, where I trap his rook. So it's important to know that in Grunfeld you are relying on tactics. Regardless, knight f3, c5. Basically, what we want to do is take control of the center. We want to just, like the basic principles of Grunfeld, is just get your king to safety, fianchetto the dark square bishop, and then attack his center. But his center is non-existent, so we're gonna take control of it. We'll just put the pawn in, put the knight in, d3, and then he just give us a pawn. And then I'm gonna return. Now h4, he's trying to be aggressive, but of course I want to develop my bishop, but this pawn is a target for him. And once I move my bishop, he's gonna take it. So I'm overprotecting it with the principle of Nimzovich. And now queen c2 attacking c5, simple b6, positional play. And I'm wondering, perhaps I got c takes d4. Was wondering if he just got d4 now. Just looking at the position and perhaps I have some bishop to f5, some action by he's got e4, and if c d4, I guess just knight d4, and I might be losing the whole house. And just try to make some colors. Anyway, so I played okay, queen c3, f6. This only helps me anyway because I want to play f6. I want to stop knight g5. I want to stop knight e5, I wanna gain more control in the center. And they say never play f6 like Ben Feingold says it, but you know, if it works, then it works. Instead, bishop d7, I'm just moving pieces around. The bishop didn't move at all. You know, as I say, hey, let's bring all the players. Imagine you're like in a football field. Let's bring all the players onto the field, onto the court, right? We want them to kick the ball, not eating seeds, not checking on their phones, not watching TV. We just want the players to come and kick the ball. Bishop h3 trying to make something happen somehow. Rook a8 again moving the pieces that didn't go out of their way at all. Knight d4 finally seizing control of the center and creating a pin, creating some threats. Also knight takes e2 is a threat. Rook b2 defending. Queen c6 mounting up the pressure, a third attacker, and now I'm removing his defender. And now there is an internet, so I just grab a piece. I just grab one more piece to check. And now I believe he resigned because it's a blitz game, and his time almost came off. But okay, I cannot capture here with the knight because I'm pinned. What I could do though is take here on e2. I'm threatening the rook, I'm threatening g2, and he could come up with a check, but then just king g6. I'm threatening the rook, I'm threatening checkmate. There's a way to defend, but then I believe just knight f3, and I take here with check after he moves, and then I'm just gonna mate him. Knight h2, and then queen g2 comes next. So basically that was the game, right? Alright, let's move on. What is important to understand is just control the center and everything's gonna be alright. And hit his center, develop his pieces, don't move the same piece twice, and basically that's it. Alright, let's look at another one. This was the King's Indian, so we're not gonna check this out. I have one more prepared for you guys. Okay, and let's make a difference, like looking from the white side too. Now I hit d5 from with the Grunfeld, and now 94 is good. Bishop g7 is recommended by Svidler, sort of a gambit, and then you're prepared in all kinds of aspects, like Bishop g7. Next you're gonna play c5 and just hit his center. Oops, sorry about that. Just kind of makes random moves. His white was to move. And yeah, c5 hitting his center. Basically, the bishop has a couple of targets. You know, this is from the X-ray. This is a target. The king is a little bit loose. How do I make other colors? Like this. Okay. The king is a little bit loose. If, you know, if c5 comes in, then maybe the queen also can come over, right? And they give a check or hit a double attack, alright, but then after, okay, so I played 94. This is also in like my great predecessors by Kasparov, a couple of games. Also Fischer played Grunfeld. So bishop to f4, knight to c3, bc3, bishop g7 just developing, not moving the same piece twice unless, okay, I move the knight just to hit his bishop and attack the center. D takes c4, okay, I'm moving the same piece again with black. The reason is not that I'm winning opponent, I will try to be greedy. e4, b5, this is how I am greedy. And then I can play c6 and try to hang on to my pawn, right? Say hello to my little friend. He should get to d5 in with some strong ideas at some point, and okay, he just needs to take care of c3, maybe perhaps something like rook c1 or queen c2, rook fd1, stuff like that. Knight d7, h4, but he goes on the king side too, understandably. a5, I'm just trying to make my expansion, preparing to play also before at some point. Also just knight b6, I guess, or just I want to take and then play knight b6 and then push a4. So that makes also sense. h5, h6. Just trying to play, sorry about that. I'm just trying to play g5 and trying to close down the position on the king side so there's no more attack. Queen d2, king h7, defending my weaknesses. e5, trying to, you know, restrict my dark square bishop, restrict my knight too. But if he puts all the pawns on a dark square, then my light square bishop should come alive. So I should definitely bring it over. Knight b6 to make space. Also take a4. And now he's trying to be very tricky because you can see clearly that all of my pieces on the queen side are not developed yet, so I have to act quickly. I'm gonna start with knight c3. You know, if he takes my knight, I'll take his bishop. Bishop to a6. Now, obviously, if I take, then perhaps king g3 or some. Okay, not king g3. And maybe I should have taken because the reason is if he goes king g1, then maybe I can take on e2. But he might. Oh, will he take on c3? He might take on c3. But yeah, bishop h6 looks very good. Anyway, I played knight to e4, intermezzo, hitting the queen, and now knight f2. A little trick again. If he takes my knight, I'll take his bishop. King g3, trying to overprotect his bishop, and now knight g4, a double attack, and I want to hit his queen. Bishop g7 with check from the rook. I take back with the king. Queen d2, forcing an exchange here. Rook h8, knight g5, knight h6 to defend everything, because my knight is attacked now from the bishop. Okay, I obviously can make arrows. Man, my mouse is kind of acting up, but either way, you could have seen my knight. No, I haven't fallen behind. Knight f5 check. Okay, queen d4, forcing a queen exchange. And at the end of the day, I'll be up a couple of pawns, and I win one more. Yeah, so that's basically what happens when you end up in an endgame. Basically, the pawns get traded off. The pawns actually become weaknesses if you cannot bring your pieces in time. Like you try to add more and more attacker, but I already have two. Uh, Actually, one more defender because I already have two attackers, and he really needs one more move to be like alive. But then I would still take and then take the knight at the end because the pawn is just removed. So yeah, I win a pawn here, knight returns to d4, and now a fork check, and yeah, that's basically game. So remember, as a recap, just develop your pieces, attack the center, if needed, gain a tempo, and then move the bishop, just develop everything, hold on to a pawn. It's fine to be greedy sometimes if he doesn't have a clear idea how to win it back. If he tries for a kingside attack, just, you can play in the center, you can try a queenside expansion, as long as his attack doesn't look too scary. I was a little bit afraid of h6 here, but I guess there's nothing to be worried about. I just play bishop to h8 or bishop to f6 even. So he took, kind of opening up the position, which is not entirely what I want. But there's so many moves that he needs to do: king h2, rook h1, and king g1, like three moves, or king g3, three moves, just to cooperate his rooks and attack my king. But yeah, that's basically the game, just trading everything and then a fork at the end. And alright, let's do all. And let me see. So 13 minutes. Okay, not too shabby, not too shabby. Let me actually show you some stuff, you guys. So d4, knight f6. So this course is gonna be Grunfeld 0 to 100. This is gonna be the first video. So the way the Grunfeld works is d5. Now, actually, let's start with the main line. Let's start with the main line you know. So you guys let me know in the comments down below what did you think. E4 obviously would take, then just developing everything. This is the main line bishop c4 c5. The reason is you want to move the bishop first and then tuck your knight on the same diagonal. And the reason is if you play knight f3 here, then there's bishop g4 with the pin, nasty pin, all the time. Okay, like this, all the time. Black just wants to remove the defenders, remove the knight over here, and then hit the pawn, and yeah, that's all there is to it. So that's why after 92, I cannot just go bishop g4 because there's gonna be f3, right? If I play bishop g4, therefore I have to go knight c6. Try to force one more defender because if he castles now, you can see that I'm overwhelming him. I can just take enough times. At the end, I'll be up a pawn. Therefore, he has to protect the pawn or push it. If he pushes it, now it gets very tricky because this pawn is a target, it is a weakness. The knight can jump over. I would believe that knight e5 is good. If the bishop, moves downwards, then c4, bishop c2, and perhaps even b5, something like that. And yeah, the knight will remaneuver, so don't worry about anybody attacking. Yeah, just move away, and everything's gonna be alright. Then we're gonna remaneuver and then hit the center again, hit the targets. This is a target, wanna hit all the targets, okay? All the targets. Alright, either way, knight c6, bishop to e3, this is the main line, obviously. Now castles, bishop g4. Um, wait, how did it go? I believe something like f3, now knight e5, and usually there's bishop f7, takes. And there are a lot of games in Kasparov's my great predecessors too. Now usually you remaneuver the queen to e6, so you either do it or not like this, maybe queen d6 or queen d7. I don't remember which one is good or which one is better. Let me just see for context. Um, I also want to play active, so as you can see, black really sacrificed the pawn. Okay, we really did sacrifice a pawn, so I want to get the rook active. Queen d6, yeah, to get to e6, and then queen c4, queen e6 here, queen d3, he just gives the pawn away. And notice how we don't take it. This is actually from my great predecessors from Kasparov's books. I don't really know. Maybe I believe there was Kasparov versus Karpov. Their games, their matches, and so on. But yeah, if he takes here, knight takes, and yeah, there's an end game where we're gonna most likely be alright with black. We just want to attack this and the target, generally d5, b5, hit our expansion on the queen side, have some counterplay, push the pawns and then create a pattern, and that's it basically. Now g5 makes a lot of sense. Stop bishop to h6. That could be kind of annoying, activating our pieces. But then bishop to f8, just activating the bishop this way. And then yeah, the plan is basically to push the pawns, try to create a passer, kick away his rook, and so on. Try to also move the rook either behind one of these pawns or to f8 if I might return there with the pieces, like on the king side and such. Anyway, yeah, let's stop the engine right here. So basically, these are the ideas. We just want to kick away his pieces. At some point, we want to play bishop to h6. Let's see the queens being on the board. Queen c4. Let's say he went to queen d2. I believe rook d8 makes sense, to align the rook with the queen. Also, queen e6 back makes a lot of sense. Simply to threaten knight c4 and to threaten this pawn, and also the pawn on e4 actually. And if he repeats, then just we repeat queen c4, unless there's a lower rated opponent. Maybe then we don't repeat. But yeah, so basically this is it. And then you can proceed in a couple of number of ways. Maybe, as I've said, you just take, remove the bishop, and now I would imagine bishop to h6 something or rook d8 and trying to put more pressure on the pawns. So yeah, I think this is basically what I need to cover today. And yeah, this will be the video because it's kind of long too, almost 20 minutes or 19 minutes. So if you guys enjoyed, feel free to hit a like, subscribe, smash that subscribe button and type a comment, a small comment. I want 2 words, only 2 words. What did you like the most? What did you learn? And what did you hate the most? You can type 2 words basically, and I'll immediately know. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys next time. If I didn't mention, I'm Mihai Veneziano. If I try to be as humble as it gets, I would say I'm nobody. But of course, yeah, I'm also a chess player. I'm also a chess coach. And yeah, what can I say? If you want to get more of a perspective of me, I'm from Bucharest, Romania, actually also Târgoviște, Romania, and yeah, I would say if you wanna, get to know me, and because you're watching this YouTube channel, like my passions are some sports. I used to do mixed martial arts, and yeah, I love chess. I just graduated for engineering, mechatronics, and robotics, and right now I'm in Duluth, Minnesota, with a program work and travel. So that's kind of some information about me. Maybe I'll add it as the beginning of the video. All right, sounds good, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.